This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 279 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. This week is going to get weird. I'm your host and mostly sane adjacent, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is a real flurpus derpus, Alex Arona.
Woo! Getty, it's time. I busted out the bubbly for this one. I got real bubbly to celebrate. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I saw you out there, Getty. You got the nice pressed suit that cost a bunch of money. You really, you took the time to get it all, cleaned up. You went to the dry cleaner, the specialty. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The little blue cat ears, I get it. It's time for FurryCon.
Can anybody verify it's time for FurryCon?
I think FurryCon is in November.
Nope.
Midwest Fur
Look it up,
Fest?
baby. Yep. Midwest Fur Fest, baby.
Alec, please
Around
check.
the corner. Starts tomorrow.
That's a good
Now,
It starts today.
If I remember correctly, Alex went on the record saying that there's only about 500 furries in the entire world. That seems accurate, right?
I can get the numbers.
You can get the numbers.
I can get I could go over there. It's around the corner.
He's got the first
It is.
stats. That's what's going on here.
I got the first stats.
So is it more or less than 500?
I'll find out. But I can tell
To
you right
book
now,
out
Getty,
all of the Donald Lee
You're
Stevens
looking good
Convention
earlier.
Center.
You're looking good. You did good with that suit. I know that you paid extra for that finish.
I'm concerned that he's going to get champagne wasted on the podcast.
Yes! Oh my god, yes.
Because he
That's
is
my
just
favorite.
non-stop sipping. All right,
My favorite.
next
love a
up
good
is a
rosé.
huge crumb bum of a co-host, Joel DeWitte.
One, yes. Two, it's been a long time since I've heard the phrase crumb bum. And I don't like saying it. It's too mush mouthy a little bit, having to spit that out. Don't like it.
I'm sorry.
Do better.
I
You
won't.
identify it though. You're just like, you know what? Yes. Crumb bum adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Are we all
As
just
we are.
adjacent to things?
Sometimes
Kind of.
you're just the thing though.
But you
No,
never
that came
know.
out today.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
it
thing
did.
did come out today. It went 1.0. You're right. You know what? Good pull. Good pull.
Alex is going to play it on stream for us.
Day one Arona.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call me.
Here's hoping.
Mm-hmm.
Finally,
Finally.
we are joined by the man, the myth, the fraggly rump of the crew, Alec Parks.
Get off my lawn!
Is that what comes to mind when you hear fraggly rump?
Yes, it is. Curse those Fraggles.
But is it fraggly enough? Is that rump too fraggly
It's
Or
too
not fraggly
it's
enough.
too fraggly to show on
on stream?
stream. Yeah.
I get
Let's check with Mr. Crumbum. Is it? Is it too fraggly?
At least half your Fraggle needs to be covered to be allowed.
I'm Winnie the Pooh in it.
You can only have a certain amount of fraggle. After that, we're getting banned.
I appreciate that, Alec, because there's no way for us to verify unless you stand up.
Please don't stand up. Please don't stand up.
We'll just have to periodically do hand checks for the whole episode. Hand check.
Hand check.
Good. All right.
Because we're gonna have a whole "your wedding again" scenario, Alec, where you're just like in a kilt, sitting in front of me. Please hold your legs.
I wonder.
That's true.
All right, this week in no particular order, Alex eats his feelings on camera.
I'm always eating my feelings, Getty. And now I'm drinking them. Woo!
We find out why Joel hates Clint Eastwood.
There's nothing wrong with that song.
The gang gets up to date on pop culture, specifically, I guess, Furfest, Midwest Furfest.
Midwest Furfest! Woo! 2024! The fur is back.
We need to workshop that title if you're going to sell it to them.
For sure.
Okay. Nope.
And
we probably talk about video games at some point. Maybe even shout at each other about video games.
Now that's game of the year.
You know, I appreciate that we don't have like a 4-hour-long podcast where we just shout at each other to figure out who thinks which game is the best.
See, I regret that we don't do that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else want that?
I mean, every good friendship can use a stress test.
Yeah. We're not playing Mario Party, so we might as well be yelling.
Joel, every week. Every week. This is the stress test.
You're not stressed enough, Getty. Let's go to Midwest Fur Fest.
You have no idea.
That's what you're looking forward to this weekend. You're like, man, I can't wait until I can let loose at the Midwest Fur Fest.
I actually am very close to finishing a game so that I can start an even longer game. An even longer one. But until then, we're going to move on over to early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games where we leap back into the corporate world. Joel, it's time.
Just when I thought I got out, they pull me right back in.
It has begun again.
It's actually very funny that I jumped into the chat and Alec like, that game was kind of weird. And I'm like, yeah, and I don't understand the spreadsheets. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't understand how any of these work. And he's like, it's not hard, Alex. I'm like, man, F all of this.
This week we played Spreadcheat. Where, I don't know, it's a text-based game where you are solving puzzles that involve spreadsheets for your boss.
Cooking the books.
And it is cooking the books.
It's definitely an Excel spreadsheet simulator. Learn how cells multiply and to get numbers. And then the whole time the character's like, great job, man. You sure are killer at this, but not really. Ha ha ha.
You're talking about the little fake Clippy that pops up?
No, I'm talking about your partner who's like, oh man, I can't remember what he said. He said something about like committing a crime. He's like, not just really, kidding. But just kidding.
6 winky faces. So yeah, that's what this is. The interface is pretty simplistic. I think that the game wanted me to play it multiple days in a row. I don't know how I feel about that. I already have to go to work every day and fool around with stuff like this. But for those of you that are not familiar with Excel and spreadsheets, it's just using this interface to solve math equations. What it does nicely is that you don't have to use your keyboard to type in any of the numbers. You just drag and drop, and then it will populate the cell with a number. And it gets increasingly more difficult as it introduces not just like cell A1 plus cell B1 equals this. Now it's like you're taking one of the cells and multiplying it by another cell, and then your options are to subtract or to multiply. So then you really get into the more technical aspects of doing math.
Yeah. Of playing with spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are magical. You can do so much with them. Kind of, if I didn't do it all the time, I would love this game.
It's funnier because I know you could do a lot with spreadsheets, but I definitely don't. So I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't know, what is this cell supposed to even do? And I just started adding numbers, and it just started buzzing. The game just started buzzing at me, and I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
This game reminded me of... I used to have tests where it would test your knowledge about Microsoft Word and Excel, and it would be these simulation of doing the tasks in the document. And if you didn't click it the exact right way, it would deduct points from you if you didn't follow the rules the way that... I kind of felt like that with this. I didn't...
Pretty sure that was the takeaway from it.
I didn't like this. That's...
No?
I love the idea.
Who chose this?
It's Getty.
Who chooses most of the games?
Is it you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Bad choice.
Yeah. I know.
I like the idea. I like the humor. I also just felt like I'm not good at these things. So I did not know a lot of times what I was doing. Like, reference something else. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm referencing.
Then there were the little mini games in between the spreadsheets where you had to clean your boss's computer. Workspace of porn viruses and everything.
Yeah. Which I also liked after. Like, see, again, it was the humor for me. Where at the end he's like, "Man, you sure can hack a mainframe." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Quick, close all these pop-ups. Okay.
Yeah, this is clearly a one-time use kind of game, and it's vibes more than anything else. And I think it hits that on the nose. Like it evokes the style they're going for really well.
Yeah,
silly humor. And that was the main thing that I was drawn to when I saw it. It was like, you got to help your boss out of all these goofy situations. Like, yeah, I didn't realize my boss was a criminal, but okay.
I mean, I think I feel like a lot of bosses are.
Yeah.
Like, they're skirting the line somewhere.
Well, Alex.
My boss would openly tell me, he's like, yeah, I just don't tell anybody I did this.
Yeah, but is he, like, embezzling a bunch of money, or is he trying to...
Who's to say?
Like, skip steps to get to the end goal so that he can go home at night?
Yeah,
like,
what's to say?
What's the line are we drawing here?
There's laws and then there's norms. Like, is he breaking a law or a norm? That's the question.
Again, who's to say?
I'm not
no lawman. I'm not no lawman.
And we're all probably a little bit better off knowing that that's true.
Yeah.
Alex Arona, corporate lawyer.
Not no lawman.
We'll throw the book at him. Literally throws a textbook at the person.
Only I knew what that meant.
Thank you for indulging Spreadcheat, gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
Now on to the real game that we played this week.
The one I didn't.
Oh,
you did?
I
You know what that means. You have to describe the game.
don't put me in the bammer like that. I don't know what any of this. Tell me about this.
We played Islet Defense.
Oh yes. This is a tower. This is a card.
Is it?
Now
it's
describe it without reading the Steam summary.
I'm watching a Skater XL video. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, sure.
It is a card game that has you
placing
and exploring a very small map that expands as you go, and then you
also wrong.
That's not true. I watched gameplay of this. And then you have enemies come in waves. There's a countdown timer, and you have to build up and explore the map enough that you then have to have towers ready for the tower defenses.
All right. So the last part was more or less spot on. Everything leading up to it is about half.
I watched the
about half
video,
true.
And that's what I gathered.
As long as
Did anybody that played it want to take a stab at it?
So sip my rosé here.
So the card aspect isn't entirely wrong. You have a certain selection of actions that you can take every turn. It's 4 cards at the bottom.
I know.
It's 4 actions that you can take.
Cards is being used very loosely here.
Mm-hmm.
They shuffle
in the aspect that
they shuffle down. They shuffle down. You use a card,
use an action, and then it has to recharge.
Yes, and it gets shuffled into a deck, and another hand.
There's not
No, it does not.
It does not get shuffled into a deck. There's no deck.
These are tiles. They're not cards.
And it doesn't really recharge, because if you can keep using it at 1 gem, and it just limits its functionality.
Mm-hmm.
So
what are they? What are you doing?
Actions? Let's call them actions.
Okay. What's the purpose of the game?
Defend your castle.
So it is a tower defense.
It is
get
a
all the
tower
action.
defense.
I'll give him that.
Get all the action.
But you
And
have
Joel,
to manage your resources. You're constantly having to explore the island to find forests, to find grain, to find rocks that you can then build things to harvest them to build your cannons. And you can upgrade your cannons. Cannons and bombs are the only things that actually do damage to the encroaching mobs.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 4 different actions. There is build, which is you can build either the farm, the lumber mill, the bombs, and the cannons, as mentioned. There's the upgrade, which allows you to upgrade all these different structures. Now, when it comes to the farm and the lumber mill, it is dependent on what adjacent tiles have different structures, like trees or the grain, and that naturally falls on different parts of the map, but you can also add them by choosing the morph option, where it'll give you different options about how to lay different types of terrain on there. Each one of these have a 4 diamond meter and an order that they go in based off of how full a charge they have. So, for example, if you have a build tile, you can either do 1 to create the lumber mill, 2 to create the farm, 3 to do the bomb itself, 4 to do the cannon. And each of them have their different set requirements. And in the case of something like the farm, that's for food production, because as you increase your non-food production buildings, the cost to feed people goes up, and then you can actually start running a deficit from what your total count is. So you do have to manage a lot of resources between building up your defenses versus having the kind of food income come in to offset that. And there's a fun bit of back and forth about how you approach it too, because naturally I tend to go to, well, you wait for it to charge all the way, and then you choose that choice, and then you let it start back over. But there are cases where, like, why would I use my upgrade right now when really what I need to be doing is using the 2 diamond meter to build a farm over here to get back the food boost right back to the right. So it's not as cut and dry as just do this and now wait the turn. And the other piece of it is that there is a swap option. So let's say that you really need to build a cannon, but you just built something, and the highest rated thing you got right now is explore. Well, I can hit that tile and swap them, and then that way I could build a 4 resource building on the actual land itself. So there is a nice little bit of push and pull, and really juggling, different tasks to get through each wave. And it is not a complicated game, but
you can make it complicated.
Exactly. Like you have to think it through. Like you can't brute force this stuff. I played this for a decent bit of time today, and that third match where it is your castle's one place, there are 2 different routes, and then there are 2 different spawn points you have to work to. It isn't just churn it out. You use your exploration spots to try to figure out not only the terrain that they're going to be walking on, but then you find out after playing some of these levels, maybe it makes more sense to just pick this spot on the terrain to open up because, oh look, there's grain already on the ground there. I can just plop down a farm and get going from there, right? So there's also a bit of trial and error where if you had a bad run or died, at least you can use that knowledge for next time to plot it out better.
Yeah, this is as tactical as you want it to be, but as you're going to progress, it's going to get more and more difficult with the levels. I only played through that first match because I was sold already. I was like, this has got everything that I want. I do enjoy a good tower defense, but the aspects of resource management and exploration, that really made it a lot more interesting. Most of the time in tower defense, it's just like, here's your map. Place your towers. This is, okay, here's part of the map. Now figure out the best way to go about it. And again, you can make this really easy on yourself, or you can make it as hard as you want, depending on how you approach each of the stages. So, did you guys have fun with this one? More fun than Spreadcheat?
I did. I was in the same boat as you, Getty. I played that first map. I was like, oh, I'm sold, and added it to my wish list.
It's on my wish list. I couldn't pull myself away leading up to this, so I'm looking.
It's interesting.
It's real snappy.
I never got into tower defense. I never grew up with that, so for me, it's just like it's always kind of been like something that I've tinkered with, but I've never like been stuck on it before. I'm like, oh, okay, tower defense is a thing. But it's just never been my genre, so I don't know.
Tower defense is a genre I don't think about too much, but then we hit a good one, and I think, yeah, that's right. Where have you been lately? My last one was a Roblox game called Toilet Tower Defense, and it is exactly
I remember
what
this.
you think it is. Yeah.
It was your skibbity toilet tower defense?
Yep. Surprisingly competent.
Yeah, I actually bought Bloons Tower Defense 6 at the beginning of last year and played that for a few hours just because it's fun to watch the monkeys throw darts at balloons.
Yeah.
People like balloons, right? That's like a classic.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. And it's not super complicated. You just put your monkey down and upgrade him.
And it gets pretty wicked.
Then they make it more complicated. They're like, all right, now we're going to add blimps and camouflage balloons. And then you're like, all right, come on. Somebody got bored with this.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Well, I heard a small rumor that Alex has a boom baladi of a surprise for us.
I don't know what that is. Maybe it's tickets for all of us to go to Midwest Fur Fest.
You'll just have to find out on the other side of the break. See you in a minute. This is the news with Super GG Radio. Now with 13% more texture.
Is it velvet?
Ooh, I love it.
It's like velvet. A nice crisp bite when you're. I'm talking about like food mouthfeels texture.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. So if you didn't know, Marvel Rivals went 1.0. Alex is trying to play it right now so he can figure out what his main is.
I told you. Oh, what if it's the girl with the big sword?
It could be anybody.
I can't remember her name. Roster. There we go. I'll find the roster.
The girl with the big sword.
All right. I call her Magic, and he always says it's...
Magic?
I'm pretty sure it's... Well, again, agree to disagree.
Squirrel Girl? Squirrel Girl?
Otherwise,
Squirrel Girl?
In video game news, Attack on Titan VR Unbreakable goes 1.0.
There's a beta breakdown on our YouTube channel.
I watched Alex almost throw up while playing.
I punched so much stuff in my house.
He just kept doing this thing where he was trying to spin in a circle. It did not end well.
Punched my TV twice.
There's no reason to spin like that.
That's the only thing you have to do. You can't use the sticks. It doesn't work that way.
VR is a mistake.
Dude, it's the closest thing to Spider-Man. It's awesome. You want to play Spider-Man? You want to play Spider-Man VR, Joel? Get yourself some Attack on Titan VR Unbreakable.
No.
Okay. Yeah, don't do it.
Then you don't want to play Spider-Man in VR.
It's a trap.
Next.
But he's not even playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I haven't.
He'd be playing Attack on Titan.
He hates Spider-Man. He hates Spider-Man.
Is that second Spider-Man game good?
Yes.
Okay.
That what?
The second Spider-Man.
I don't even know if Alex played that game.
I platinumed it.
No, he also claims to have platinumed Elden Ring.
Yeah, no, that second Spider-Man thing is excellent.
That's what he said too.
Also,
He's like,
Miles Morales is
I thought I
very
platinumed that.
Yes, and I beat these games too.
See?
Since we're telling flat out lies.
It's all my secret.
All right.
Play video games, you just buy them.
That's true.
Yeah, he didn't deny that. Next piece of news, X-Defiant shutting down as Ubisoft also shuts down San Francisco studio, making the end of game dev in San Francisco.
This
That's
is
a
important
lot of
just
San Francisco.
It's just more the fact that this was supposed, like, San Francisco was the hotbed of gaming. A lot of the gaming websites were based out of there because that's where all the game developers were. Silicon Valley and all that. But now people have been leaving, doing work from home, cutting offices, moving out of different sections of the world, and it's for cheaper, rates of what it costs to rent space out there. Ubisoft was the last bastion of that. In fact, in Watch Dogs 2, set in San Francisco, you can actually go and get to the Ubisoft office.
Ubisoft.
Now,
do they want me to own my games or not?
No.
Okay.
Licensing.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
I don't want to own my games anyway.
Good.
PlayStation launches its 30th anniversary thank you video, including a free PlayStation 5 UI limited edition or limited time skins.
This is dumb. The reason why
I logged into my PlayStation and it was like, hey, check this out. And I was like, all right.
Which PlayStation did you go with?
Whatever it just automatically had. I didn't change it.
Oh, really?
I saw plenty of people booting up on the original. You
I
could
did the
choose
original.
between the different generations.
All of them.
Interesting.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
That's cool.
But the problem is that it's for this anniversary event.
So it's limited time? That's
Yes,
stupid.
it goes away.
That's real stupid.
Hold on. You want to know how Alex is going
What I
to...
said was this is stupid.
He's going to find a way around it. He's going to make sure that it's on the PlayStation and then disconnect it from the internet.
It'll be
that
the
might be a
new
good
PT selling them
exactly.
for $1,000 on
Oh.
eBay.
It can just never go back on the internet.
I have people to talk to now. Because
He's going to get himself a new PlayStation 5, the one that he was going to get you. and then he'll be set for life, knowing that he has that skin downloaded on his PlayStation 5.
I'm just saying is that I liked it, but I'm also severely disappointed that it's going away, and that's stupid. That's all I gotta say.
Oh well. Guess we'll just have to. I don't know.
There was an interview with somebody, I forget who he was, the former PlayStation person, talking about how PlayStation 3 we almost lost because of our hubris, and I'm thinking I don't know, you seem kind of sort of hubris right now too, to be honest.
Well, no, but the thing is though is that they PlayStation 3 was a hit. Like, not a hit. They took a big hit.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
That's when everyone moved to Xbox.
That was the refrain throughout practically the entire generation. Is everybody wants to play on Xbox, even though they're all lighting on fire by themselves. But
yeah, they said that we barely survived, and we're glad we did. Right now, the conversation around PlayStation is that they're doing it feels like they have hubris, but they're actually doing relatively well as far as the front of they've repaired largely their indie relationships in a lot of cases, and then they've kind of maintained their market lead, right? The main thing for the PlayStation 3 was what was it it was over $500.
It was $600. They had backwards compatibility all the way to PS1. They then sliced out the PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility, cut down the price, and still the problem is that most of the games that were multi-platform did not play well on PlayStation.
Yeah, so that's kind of the whole thing, is that it just it didn't do everything great, and then the price point just ended up being ridiculous. So now they have recovered from the most part, and there's no sign of stopping at the moment. So
All right.
Yep.
Next piece of news. Lies of P DLC coming in first quarter of 2025. Lies of P. Alex definitely played that game this year. He got it day numero uno and played it to completion.
I sure do own it.
What do you mean you own it?
I own it.
I thought this was the year of Alex.
It was the year of Alex. I kicked butt in my game list. I got most
it
beat
still
games this year.
in the plastic?
Yes.
Do you have your receipt?
Ooh.
No.
You know that he doesn't.
Because I don't want to return that game. I want to play that game.
But did he remember to download the items from the receipt? Did you keep the receipt? Did you say it's in the case, but you said the case was closed?
I could be wrong.
What's happening?
I gotta look. Maybe it's Final Fantasy VII Remake that's still case. The case is still closed. I gotta look.
And for sure you have the receipt for that one, which had the extra game code. Alex, come on, man.
You need to start a new Trello board.
Of what?
Reminders to play games and open the games that you have.
Caddy, I have too many games. That's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm the only one that needs to make me happy.
Okay.
I love me.
That's important.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to, yeah.
So anyway, I definitely
else
played
ain't
that
gonna do
game. And I will... What is the DLC? Did they say what the DLC is?
No. They just said that that's the plan, is DLC and then a sequel.
Ooh.
Okay, well, I'm already on board. I know how it ends, so
Yeah,
I'm excited.
There's definitely a we're gonna have there's a last second teaser for the next games.
Yep, after the credits. Multiple endings on that game, too. So, in some reality, I will go back and play it once again.
What other
Probably
fairy
sooner than
tale
later.
story would you want to be the template for a Souls-like?
Alice in Wonderland.
Okay. It's not bad.
Well,
Yeah. That's probably in one shot there. Yeah, it's...
Getty and I already know what the real answer is.
I'm going to recuse myself so that I don't say anything.
Well, the real question was, what do you want?
What do I want?
Yeah, and the answer for me is Winnie the Pooh.
Ooh.
There you go. I said it.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And all of your friends are terrifying monsters?
Yeah. The Pooh-verse, as they call it.
The Pooh-verse.
There's a lot of them. Pinocchio's in there now. There's Popeye.
What are we talking
Wild.
about?
The Pooh-verse? You ever heard about the Pooh-verse?
No.
It sounds dirty, right?
Yeah, it does.
So Winnie the Pooh hit public domain.
I'm aware of that.
And when it hit public domain, they made a bunch of horrible horror movies about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blood and Honey.
Yeah. And so now they've started adding to that. There's a horror Bambi movie, and it's the same universe. And there's a horror Pinocchio movie that's also in the same universe.
So what you're saying is that we fumbled the execution because we could have also done something like that and made money off of it.
Look up Poohniverse.
I am not looking that up. I don't need
Please don't
it gave me
type
a full
that.
Poster of all the characters.
Please do not type
Welcome
that.
to the Poohniverse. It's a real thing.
But he's saying poon.
No, I'm not. P-O-O-H.
Yes, you are.
You know what? I hear it now.
Yeah, I know you do.
I hear it now.
Don't Google it at work, people.
Yeah. You know what? Do whatever makes you happy.
I hear my mistake. I hear the mistake. It's got Bambi, Tinkerbell, Pinocchio, Tigger, Piglet, the Mad Hatter, and
Tigger.
Not getting canceled today, Getty.
I need to go lie down. I can't finish the episode.
All right, that's a wrap.
Oh, I needed that. Thank you.
Heard it? I heard my mistake.
You see, I see what happened there. Okay. Okay, refocusing. Next piece of news. Gearbox flew out a terminally ill fan to their studio to allow them to play Borderlands 4 early. It seemed from the articles that I saw that he enjoyed it quite a bit.
Sure, but for me, the articles that I read came with a quote that said, "Boy, I sure do hope he makes it."
Oh.
I was like, that feels grim.
Terminally ill.
It still feels weird to like to make a comment like that. It feels weird to make that comment. Joel, you agree or disagree?
I mean, compared to cancer, probably most games are pretty great.
Well, no, it's more like man.
He's a fan of the series.
I hope he makes it to when we release this game, which is also like, oh man, grim stuff. Oof. That's gotta be from him, right? That's gotta be from him. That's a Randy quote if I've ever heard one.
Randy Pitchford. Best friend of the podcast, Randy Pitchford.
I would guarantee he would not like us.
You don't think so?
No.
There was that stretch of like 60 episodes where we just would shout out to him. And yeah, you know what? You probably would enjoy it a little bit.
Get to know him a little bit.
Right?
Learn some of the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, emphasis on the word tricks. Alex, get it?
Those girls can do magic.
Oh. All right.
Close up magic.
So we're on to freebies?
No, we in fact have one more piece of news. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, was announced. Now, if memory serves, Alex played Moonlighter 2 did not enjoy... Oh, yeah. The original Moonlighter, and did not enjoy it. He found it too tedious, almost like work.
I felt like it wasn't a very fun work. Like I didn't get the feedback I needed to feel like I understood. Like the thing was, it would you would go dungeon crawl, get items, then go to your store and put said items on the shelf for people to buy, which is a fun premise. Except for I did not feel like I got the feedback enough to know. Like, the whole point of it is that you're supposed to be, oh, this sold for a good amount of money. That means I should probably raise the price, but then it doesn't sell that much. Then I got to lower the price, because if you put too much of it, then you overinflate the market. And then it just got to be like a whole thing where I'm, like, guessing, like, it sold for this much last time. Can I sell it for this much this time? Or am I overinflating the market? Oversaturating
So you need a
it?
spreadsheet.
Yes, and that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I fell off of it. But I played like 10 hours of it. It's an interesting premise to dungeon crawl to then sell stuff in a shop and make that the 2-part dungeon-y, right? Oh, one part Zelda, other part is venture capitalist.
Let's rewind to, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago when Alex said that he was playing Dave the Diver?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about Dave the
Diver? And what do you do in that game?
It was go fishing, mm-hmm. and then play, what is it, that game? The cafe, where the original like phone cafe game where you were just waiting tables and giving people their coffees?
Like Plate Up or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that, or like a Overcooked or even, but no, that was trying to think of them. And never.
Does Cult of the Lamb fall in the same kind of category? Like half Zelda dungeon crawler, half base building
management. Yeah, but it's got more of like a management sim because you're trying to make people happy. You're more like a Sims game.
Okay, to me this sounds like more aesthetic than anything else.
Well, it's more like it's all based on the financials, and the financials was like not a fun mechanic for me.
So Moonlighter,
Cult of the Lamb, I was happy. What was
Moonlighter?
Yes.
I wonder, was that free on Epic?
Yes.
At some point, yes.
I'm gonna see if I've got it.
Yeah.
That might sound like a Joel game.
There we
go. Look at that.
That's for sure. That might be more for you than me.
All right. Now we can move over to freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies. Freebies. Okay, are we ready to rumble, Alex?
Yep.
First up, we have South Pole Bebop on Steam.
You guys like Into the Breach? A multiplayer turn-based strategy inspired by Into the Breach set on a 9x9 board where you control characters and protect bases. Create a unique deck of ability cards and characters. Eliminate your opponent while fending off a zombie horde. It looks a lot like Into the Breach. It's pretty sweet.
But multiplayer.
And also, it's South Pole Bebop, so the characters, you're playing like a penguin or like a seal or something to that effect. But the zombies are just like that, a penguin or a puffin, but it's got like its eyeball hanging out.
Fun.
Or it's like a skull. It's like a skeleton penguin. It looks pretty grim and cool. I think that this is worth checking out.
Weird.
Yeah.
Next up, Bubble Beast Digi Dungeon on Steam.
Pop bubbles, fight monsters, and keep rocking to the beat in Bubble Beast Digi Dungeon, an arcade-style music puzzle game. Imagine Bubble Bobble, where you're shooting bubbles to make them pop, but it's a circle, so you can go around the circle shooting bubbles, and the bubbles amass in the center. On top of that, the story will pan out, and you're playing on a 3DS, and the top screen is giving you the story.
Okay, you're talking about like Bust a Move, Bubble Bobble. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
This is a good one. So, Bubble Beast Digi Dungeon came out 3 days ago.
And it's free.
There you go. On Steam.
Next one, Cats Hidden in Christmas. For those of you that are fans of the hidden cat games.
Yep, it's another one of the Find the Cats. I'm putting this. I'm ready. I'm downloading it as we speak.
He's gonna find those cats.
I'm gonna find these
There's
cats.
something
Yeah,
really
I'm gonna find
relaxing
cats.
about that. Just a nice
Yes,
little Where's
yes.
Waldo kind of treatment going on.
Oh, with
Oh,
cats.
with cats.
It's just relaxing.
You can get the whole bundle for $6.66.
Oh, Alec, if I don't already own it and have beaten it in years past, sir.
I don't know what you do with your free time.
A lot of things.
All sorts of cat stuff.
Not
Like
play all
finding
those
cats.
games that he paid
Yeah,
so much
I
money
find
for.
cats. I find cats is what I do.
Final Fantasy,
Finding
cats.
Yeah, I find cats. Organized
Sometimes
dogs.
he finds cats outside of his house.
I do, but mostly in video games.
Next one, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. GOG.
It's on GOG. It's free on Steam, I believe, but also on GOG now. Finding ways to play it. These older Elder Scrolls games. This is that original. I think it's part 2. So, you guys want to play?
Oh, this is
FPS,
this is
old
real
style.
old-fashioned RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Daggerfall. I believe GOG has all of them, but I would double check on that.
Nobody
First
knows.
Two, I mean, like the first two.
Can't verify.
First one was Arena.
All right. Next one, Delta Force Open Beta. So it's Delta Force. It's an open beta for anybody to play.
Yep. It's on both Epic Game Store and Steam. Free. This game is an extraction shooter, highly realistic military style. I played this at Summer Game Fest, and I wrote about it for Culture Combine. It is a very ultra realistic to the point that you have to put each individual bullet into the clips, and then put the clip in. And if you reload and there's still bullets in the clip, you lose them. That kind of thing. But it is a very sleek, realistic shooter.
Okay.
I have some
Next one.
a swag I tried to give you guys, and you guys said you did not want Delta Force swag.
Did you want Delta Force swag?
I think I have a... Oh, Alec got it! Oh, yeah, he did get it! There it is!
So what is it?
It's stickers.
Okay.
He got stickers.
Yep, it's
It's stickers.
There was an art book. I think you guys didn't want the art book, which is what I have. And then I also have, what is it called? A fanny pack? A man satchel? across the chest bag from Delta Force as well, somewhere around here.
It's not like a courier bag?
Yeah, but like across the chest. It's like tight to the chest.
A courier bag?
Is that what they're called?
If it goes across your chest.
Cool. That's what it is.
All right. Which one were we on? Bus Simulator 21. Next step on the Epic Game Store.
You want to bust some people around like you're driving a bus? Bus Simulator 21. It's not the 2022, or 23, or even 24, but 21.
Is this supposed to
that
be?
year was all right.
Is this supposed to be next stop?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Little typo here and there.
Impossible.
What does it say in the doc?
Step.
Oh, my bad. Next.
No. Next stop.
There. Stop.
Next stop.
Stop.
Yep.
There you go.
Even better.
Nailed it.
Last one. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga over on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, if you like some Star Wars, you like some Legos, you put them together, you get Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, the Lego version. This is not the original, so these guys actually have voice lines. I never liked it when they did that, but it's been many years and many more games than the old ways. Meaning, there are more games where they talk than there are games that they don't. Back in my day, they just made a bunch of sounds.
Lego sounds?
They were adorable.
Okay.
But you know what, Getty? Everything is awesome.
Good old Lego movie.
You step in mud, you got new brand shoes. Awesome to
Well,
win, awesome to lose.
I think I got some GG stuck in my teeth, so let's take 5 to floss and then come back. And we're back. Back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games where the weight of the world threatens to crush us. Very aptly said for both of the games that we have this week. 9 souls. Did you do it, Joel? Did you defeat the guy that I watched you fight for a very long time this last week? And then Phase 2 kicked in.
I was very proud of myself to get past Phase 1, to be honest. So, just a little context here. When I last talked about this game, I think it was when I was getting to this final boss. And you know how they talked about in Mount Everest, about you get higher up and there are like bodies lying around of all the people who couldn't quite get up. That was where I was sort of left it at that point. I was one of those bodies on the side of the path up to the top of the mountain, and I'm getting back up there, and I feel good about it this time. I think I'm gonna get it. So that will end up on my beat list this year. You can count it.
That's okay. So, 9 Souls is a very, very good. I would say, arguably one of the best games of the year.
It is his game of the year. That's what he's saying.
No, it's close. It depends on the day you ask me. It is a Metroidvania, and it is a very heavy emphasis on parrying, dodging, and using your abilities to fight these giant, larger than life kind of bosses and exploring the world. I did a review for Nintendo World Report, so I played it on the Switch. I think that some of my favorite parts of it are the fact that there's not a lot of enemy fodder. Anytime it's like, oh, here's an enemy, and I can go past it, but it's like a normal enemy, and they take off half my health in like 2 hits. It's like, what the hell? Oh, the game is supposed to be you are taking your time, you are parrying, you're moving the way you're supposed to move, and then when you get to these bosses. The first time you play the boss, you're just flailing, and then after a while, you just like you figure out the pattern, you get the timing to the parries the right way, you start to feel a little bit more comfortable. Like Joel's feeling right now, you get the swagger a little bit. You're like, oh, I got this. You parry him 4 times in a row, you get him down to the end, and then all of a sudden, oh, phase 2. And you're like, oh, no wonder I got it, because there's more. There's more.
Oh, really? I'm nothing to you. That's right.
Yeah, you were setting me up to get comfortable, and I got comfortable. And that's not always. Not every boss has different phases, but it's more the fact of that it just the game is, there's not even really a way to like grind, because you don't really do more damage. It's more just the fact that you have to know what you're doing.
The kind of upgrades that exist are, you smoke a pipe to do your health recharges, so you can increase the number of recharges of that. You can increase the efficacy of it. There are different kinds of arrows that you can choose to shoot from. There are these, I forget what they're called, but basically like plugs. The upgrade system is these totems. They're kind of like in Hollow Knight, what do they call them? Like badges? Yeah, yes. They're like the badges, where there's a number of slots you're able to fill in, and there'll be things like your parries will regain health or something like that, or it'll be, experience gravitates to you from farther away, and you end up mixing and matching the different abilities depending on what you're doing. So earlier on, you're going to plug in the one that boosts your experience because you want that to be able to upgrade things. It handles everything just like a Souls game would. You die somewhere, it leaves the spirit behind of where you died. If you don't collect it, you lose whatever experience or currency you have with it.
Sometimes it sticks with an enemy, so you have to defeat the enemy that killed you.
Yeah.
I have found that I don't ever have enough to buy anything, because I'm always just dying. So I don't always ever have enough souls to do anything. Which is fine, because they do have a level up system where you just get enough experience and you level up, which gives you points to put in a skill tree to get new abilities, but you're still not doing like a lot more damage, you're not doing more life. So what I was saying is that just these bosses are just more about getting good. And that's what I found the most satisfying, is that when you get good, it feels really good. There was a boss that, it was a lady controlling 2 zombies. And what's fun about that is that because it's trying to do a lot of like Eastern culture, they have the idea of the zombies in Chinese folklore, where they have like the tag in front of their face.
Yeah,
that binds them. These 2 guys have that, and when you kill them, the boss will fly out and resurrect them. So what I found was, I killed one of the guys, the boss would come and resurrect them. I'd be whittling down the second guy. I would jump up, attack the boss a bunch, do a bunch of damage. The boss would fly back. I'd kill the second guy, and then the boss would have to fly back. I'd do more damage to them while whittling down the first guy. And I found that by going back and forth, only having one target, the real tough part was just the beginning phase of getting one of them down while the other one's attacking me. After that, I'm really only handling one, and it's easy enough to dodge them while still attacking the boss. And it's saying like just making that plan, playing around with it. Sometimes I'd kill them both on accident, and then I'd be like, well, she resurrects them both. Great. That's not helpful. You know what I mean? Like, but it's more about, I was able to put it together, run some tests, try this mode out, try how I want to do this. Okay, who do I want to kill first, the big guy or the fast guy? I don't know. I should, figure that out. There's a lot to play with, and once you get it, and like, okay, this is the plan. I've done these attempts. I've done this test. Now I know what I'm gonna try, and if it works, it works. That phase, I didn't get hit at all.
This game, more than others I've played, observation is really the starting point of it. A lot of Metroidvania games, when I run to a boss, I want to jump straight in, start hacking at damage, and then play as I go and try to force my way through. This one, I find myself, especially at the end, first time I encounter a boss, I'm standing back and just trying to get a sense of what they're going to do, and start thinking about how I'm going to chain the parries in order to set up the big attack is a talisman attack, where you dodge and slap a talisman on them, they explode on contact. That's when the bigger damage is done, and sometimes there's also some health regain and stuff. And so you can chip away at them with your sword and it'll do bits and damage, but that's where the big hits are going to really help you in the match. So a lot of it is timing your parries in order to set it up to where you can tag them, run back to safety, and reset yourself up again. Similarly, the arrows, they've got like shock arrows and some homing missile ones, but the one I always go with is a piercing arrow which stuns them. And in these type matches, the half a second you get from that to be able to dodge out and start healing, it's critical. And so they give you the tools to play how you want to, and you find that groove, and like Alex said, it turns into this really divine experience.
And then it has such a interesting kind of story and mechanics, just because like you walk into an area where it's like the reactor, and the reactor area, it will light up in the background until the whole thing lights up bright red, and it just does a ton of damage. So, but there are little safe spots that if you punch it, it'll make a safe zone. So you're trying to platform through it, and you have to keep hitting the thing that'll save you and put you in the safe zone. And enemies will be attacking while that's happening, so that's super fun to be multitasking everywhere. It just does all these interesting and fascinating mechanics of exploration. I felt like it needed a little less backtrackiness because it doesn't really direct you a lot of times. Like, you have to really start exhausting dialogue options with every single NPC to get a direction, and I very rarely did that. So I was just kind of like, well, I guess I'm just going to go in a direction and hope for the best. There is fast travel, but it's still, the fast travels points are kind of sparse.
And I felt like it was kind of later in the game where they really let you loose on that too. It's something that could have been more useful early on. And in terms of the backtracking stuff, there was a short period where I got stuck because the game wanted me to hit a certain point in the map to trigger a story critical section with that large beast looking character that mocks you. You remember what I'm talking about? Yeah, you need to trigger a specific moment in that, and I had missed it. And so I ended up spending a ton of time just traveling the map trying to pick away and find that next spot before I gave in and had to look up a walkthrough. So it's not without its faults, but yeah.
But if you're looking for the next Hollow Knight, this is the one.
This is the hollowest of nights?
Yeah, until Silksong, man, this is it. This is everything.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Alec.
I disagree.
Alec, when is Silksong coming?
It's never coming. This is too much focus on the Souls aspect of it for it to be the next Hollow Knight.
I thought Hollow Knight was very Souls-like.
No, you had to dodge, but there was no need to parry. You figured it out, and you went through it.
It just has a.
So
I mean, but the thing is,
as somebody who hasn't played enough of the 3D Souls, the comparison I always have heard since this game came out is Hollow Knight is Dark Souls, Nine Souls is Sekiro.
There we go.
I guess I have a hard time with calling Hollow Knight a Souls-like.
Why?
It doesn't have it doesn't have a lot of the defining characteristics.
It's not super punishing for when you die.
Oh, I hard disagree. I felt like it was Hollow Knight was super punishing.
It was always easy to get your shade back.
I very rarely bought stuff in Hollow Knight because I was getting destroyed all the time.
That sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah. I mean,
that's just an observation. I don't know if that's true or not.
I remember playing the demo for Nine Souls, and I was absolutely getting wrecked because of my skill issues and the way it presents the combat so differently.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm saying is that the combat being different doesn't necessarily negate it from being similar in that vein. In fact, that's what makes the difference between Dark Souls and Sekiro. They're so different, but they're still created by the same developers with the same kind of mindset, which is that to make this beautifully hand-drawn, hand-painted world with just dripping in atmosphere and life and all of this stuff with some pretty difficult platforming and combat.
And there are some other contrasts with the storytelling too. The Nine Souls has actual characters with dialogue and a detailed story background, where Hollow Knight is very background storytelling through cryptid messages.
Yeah, that storytelling is super obscure.
Yeah. So, that's take it or leave it. I liked the change up from it, having something be more explicit in that way. But yeah, there's some clear connective tissue between those two games in terms of presentation, in terms of the type of gameplay you're talking about, the structure of the souls and bonfire kind of stuff. But yeah,
and in fact, it's actually more souls than I would say Hollow Knight, because you get so many like shortcuts.
That's what I'm getting at.
9 souls is very souls like in the shortcuts.
Yeah, the Hollow Knight does not feel souls like to me. And maybe I'm not. Souls-likes are not usually my genre, and so maybe that's why I'm having a hard time calling Hollow Knight a Souls-like. It's certainly got a difficulty curve, but
It's light Souls-like. It's not a direct analog for sure.
And honestly, like, I throw out there, if you're really looking for a Hollow Knight-like, something that really scratches that Hollow Knight itch, try out Void Rot. We did a demo of it a couple of weeks back, a month or so back. It's gone 1.0, and it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I love the art on that one.
Fair.
But that's a personal choice. Did you play it?
I have. I've got about 2.5 hours into it.
Oh, that's better than a lot of other games.
Yeah, it is.
What about Bo? Path of Teal Lotus.
That feels more like 9 Souls, but a little lighter.
Okay.
And that I've got 2.8 hours in, so, I've hit a wall.
I've been writing a piece about how many Metroidvanias came out this year, and people really only focus on like 1 or 2, which is Animal Well and Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
And I think with that, there are, like, again, Void Rot, 9 Souls, Bo, The Path of Teal Lotus. There's just so many.
Yar's Rising.
Yar's Rising was this year?
That was this year.
Yeah, there was another one too that I had written down. It's just so many good ones that I don't know why. Like, people only focus on the 2, right? And like, sure, they're very good, but I just 9 Souls beats everything for me. I don't know. I gave it a 9. Joel, would you agree or disagree?
Oh, it's S tier to me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dang.
Cool. Preview of his review score.
But that's why I'm willing to compare it to Hollow Knight, because it's that same tier of quality in presentation and polish that I don't get from a lot of other games. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that from there, I don't know if we need to. I could tackle the other one another day. Unless you, I mean, we do it really
that would
fast,
give you time
honestly.
to actually beat the game.
Oh.
No, I meant the other game, but I already beat. But okay, continue.
I don't know. Alex says that he beat it.
I did.
It's just really weird to me that he beat it, because I don't know, man. It's just been a long, wild ride. Yeah.
It's been a year. It hasn't been that long. The game came out this year. It's a long. I played 90 hours of it. Like, I don't know what you want from me. And I beat how many other games this year?
Well, if you take the average, or even if we took the median time, because most of the games that you were playing were what, 2-3 hours?
I'd say average is 5.
Okay.
But I beat Persona 3 Reload. It was what I remember, very good. That last boss was easy, with no problem. I got through all 14 phases of that boss.
Jeez.
It's a real number.
It's really not that bad, Alec. I think I was explaining it a couple of weeks ago, but
it's literally just like they could give you a new life bar, and I did 2 hits and it was dead.
But you're like you're fighting the end boss, but it's each of the iterations of the tarot that you already fought. So it's like you have to fight the lovers, and it's each one of them is basically it has the same abilities, but it's a health bar, but it's like the same caliber of what they were when you fought them originally. So it's like,
boss rush.
ha.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like, you know what the weaknesses are, so literally like one shot. And then by the time you get to like the end, the last couple, then it's like, okay, now it's going to take a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit harder.
It's like in Metroidvanias where early bosses become regular mobs.
Yes.
Pretty much.
In this case, when playing the Persona games, the way they work is they're on a calendar, and they're based on every full moon. You generally have to fight a boss that usually refers to the card in the tarot.
Okay.
So, you fight the tower, you fight the death one, and you fight the hangman. But the idea is still the fact that like in this one, at the end, he just starts rifling them through. And the game takes that was the other thing, is that I was like, I'm not too upset, because the game takes the calendar of a year. Like, the game goes with the dates, and it ends in January, and then there's like an epilogue that's in March. But it's, for the most part, I'm like, I was keeping pace. It was Halloween, and I was in November in the game. That's fine. Little head, so no, I beat it. I forgot how ambiguous that ending is. I just know the answer because I've played this game 3 times, and I've also played a little bit of the bonus DLC, plus mode or whatever, that just basically gives you, explains, oh, we meant this ending, meant this.
I felt like the ending was straightforward, but okay.
I felt like it was, because I asked my brother, and my brother goes, oh no, it's absolutely ambiguous until you start the DLC, and the DLC's like, oh yeah, by the way.
So maybe they wanted you to think something else?
Well, yeah, it just kind of ends, it just kind of ends in a weird way. So I thought that was, but anyway, I forgot that it ended in a weird way, but I mean, I still liked it. I still like playing it. I still enjoyed my time with it. So I'm glad it's done. I definitely forgot a lot of the story beats, especially that epilogue where you're just re-seeing everybody. It does give you a little bit of an ending for everybody, which I just want to share some of my favorite. One of my favorites is that one of your confidants, slash social link, is you find a disc for an old MMO that's getting shut down, and you make a friend named Maya on there, and you're just kind of hanging out with them on Sunday afternoons and play, and it's the Hermit Arcana, and you're just playing this MMO with this person you met online, and a kind of romance starts on an MMO, as you do in high school and college or whatever. Somehow that happens, and then the person on the other end keeps talking about their job and keeps talking about their job, and it's I hate my job, I hate my coworkers, and blah blah blah. And eventually it's I'm a teacher, and and then she kind of gets romantic with you, and you finish it. It's whatever. She's like, I'm gonna turn around my life. I'm like, cool. And I forgot that later on at the epilogue, it's go see all your confidants, and one of them is you go to the teacher's lounge, and the teacher's there, and she sees that you have that game. She freaks out. She's like, oh my god, what am I doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
But it also does real quick. She's like, oh my god, everything is awful. Maybe we can get dinner sometime. But, no, everything is bad. I gotta stop drinking. I gotta stop. Because there was a couple times she was drunk on the MMO. She was, I'm gonna stop drinking. Today, I'm just starting everything over. But there is a real quick, well, maybe we can get dinner sometime. No, what am I thinking? That was a good one for me. I was like, oh, hilarious.
Teachers and Persona games.
Yep, they're always trouble.
I mean, I liked the old drunk monk.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I got a family. Should you be with them? I don't have to answer to you. And then you go back the next day, and he's like, I should really go see my family and stop being a drunk. You probably should. If I learned anything from Persona 3 Reloaded, it's lay off the sauce.
These people are deep in the sauce. And the cults, right? The gourmet kid is just a fat kid who's got stuck in a cult and then tried to get people into it so he can get out of it. That was the whole thing.
I felt bad for him.
I did not.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I felt bad for most of the people in the game. Like,
Persona
nobody
3
has a good situation.
Persona 3 is known as the generally more depressing one. A lot of the confidants, and it's really not. It's very upbeat. It's very jazzy. It's very fun. And then every once in a while, someone's like, "I'm dying," and you're like, "Oh no!" And then you're like, meet this little girl, and she's like, "Hey, my parents are always fighting, and they're getting a divorce. You want to play with me?" And you're like, "Oh no."
Yeah, that was a little weird, especially.
Oh yeah, you saw the epilogue. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was also grim. The epilogue for that is she goes and moves in with she chooses which family member she wants to live with, of her parents getting a divorce, and she's very like, and turns out everything is great and everything is happy, and her dad's like, I kind of miss her. I wish I could see her more. Also, she talks about you a lot. She says she wants to marry you. What's that about?
Yeah.
Stay away from her, you sicko. Like, what the heck?
Like, this is a child.
But it was like, it started out kind of nice where he's like, yeah, she's doing really well, let me tell you about her, and blah, blah, blah. And then just, by the way, you stay away from her. You stay away, right? Like, what the hell?
Weird stuff, man. Weird stuff.
But overall it was good. I was like level 85. I was missing like, I think like 3 trophies for the platinum, and I just kind of was like, I'm not gonna make this happen. Because the last couple were you needed to be like level 95, and I went into that final boss at like level 8.
I don't
86.
know that's really. Maybe
Well,
I'm only missing 1 trophy for that game then.
Did you get Messiah?
Yeah.
Don't you have to be level 90 to get him?
No.
Oh, that's what I read online, was that one of the necessities is to get 90.
Did you unlock the ability to fuse personas that are a higher level than you?
I would have to wait till that drops. I did get that at one point, but it's only temporary while you're in.
So
yeah, so I'd have to get that card and then try to do it, and then the other one was to defeat.
He's got
death.
no patience. He's got no patience.
I don't. Also, you have to defeat death, and from what I'm told, that one was like level 90. You should be around there.
No, I don't think I was that high either.
Oh really? Oh, then I should definitely go for the platinum. Anyway, either way.
Yeah, you should definitely get good.
That's fine.
Best friend of the podcast has been texting us on the side. Chris Zach has demolished Elden Ring. He just wants you to know that you should get good, Alex.
Now we gotta pay him royalties.
He's texting right now.
Didn't you beat Elden Ring?
Ignoring him. What?
Didn't you beat Elden Ring?
Yeah, we both did.
He platinumed it.
No,
Alex
I thought
did.
I thought I did, but I guess I missed. I think it was definitely the weapon one. I think I missed all the weapons.
He is very far away from platinum.
No, that I said. No, once I missed one of them, I said I'm not trying from after that. That's what I'm saying. I missed like 1 or 2 of them, and I was like, I'm done with this.
Fun fact, he also started Final Fantasy 16. Will he finish it before Alex? Anybody want to take a guess?
I don't care.
Ooh.
I just want Alex to finish some of these games so we can talk about them.
Then look at the beat list, and you can see the games I beat.
None of the ones that I wanted to talk to you about. Congratulations.
When we
Ouch.
hang out, we could talk about these games. When we hang out.
It's never going to happen.
I know. That's why I don't beat them.
Man, Joel beat 9 Souls, though.
It's on the beat list.
It's on the... If I've learned anything about Excel files, this is legally binding.
What's the
All
version
right.
of back taxes for marking a game as beaten and then not getting it beaten before the end of the year?
You get audited pretty hard.
By the government.
By the government.
Okay.
Mamma mia. Okay, let's move on to one last thing. And this week's one last thing is brought to you by Game of the Year lists. Did you do it? You better go do it.
Can't make
They're due
I
now.
I have my order.
They're due now.
You're not my supervisor.
Not directly. There's like 3 levels above him to get to you. but he's going through them pretty quickly. That's how you collect the souls. Level up.
Womp womp. All right, my one last thing. I am, according to the percentage tracker on PlayStation, 90% done with Stellar Blade. I will finish that and begin my journey into Metaphor. Will I finish it before the end of the year? Maybe. We'll find out.
I don't think that one's possible. But it's always
I don't know. I do have another week off, and during the week that I was off, I managed to play maybe 60 hours? That seems right, yeah. That could be.
That sounds right.
A little bit under 10 hours per day.
Metaphor
Alex
is decidedly shorter, I believe. So, yeah, that sounds right.
I could do it. What do you got?
Oh, nothing. I'm feeling good. I'm going to go through some of the games that I started and didn't finish, so I'm going to knock some of those out. Other than that, I'm happy. I got the Persona 3 Reload monkey off my back, though I'm going to take a break before playing the DLC. Though I'm told the DLC is much shorter, too, so that is the one plus side. And I have some beta breakdowns ready to go, so we're going to start on those soon.
Weird.
Yeah.
Joel.
I already told my pride point about 9 souls and getting past the first phase of a boss. I'll just mention in passing, my youngest has turned into a gamer boomer because now he's asking for a GameCube. Why? Just 'cause. I don't know.
Find him a GameCube, Joel.
Nah, just go get an OG Wii.
That's the kicker.
That also works.
He has an OG Wii. He
So then
paid
why does
for
he
it with
want
his
a
own
GameCube?
money, but he just wants to have a GameCube.
Weird.
I mean, I physically have a GameCube and all of the cables that go with it, as well as 3 games?
Nice.
What are you willing to barter for?
How would you like a 10-year-old?
I will raise you
a gift of the Magi thing.
I will raise you the podcast. You can do all the podcast stuff, and we'll call it Squaresies.
No.
All right, fine. But if you ever want to borrow, what do I have? I have very eclectic games. Eternal Darkness and what's the Sky Pirate one? Skies of Arcadia?
Yeah.
I have both of those.
Maybe.
Eternal Darkness on GameCube is worth money.
It might
Is it?
be worth money. Yeah, it's one of those games that turns out it was really good and people jones for it real bad.
And also, the trick they play
Oh!
requires you be playing on like a CRT, isn't that right? Does it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks to be, if you have the case, like $100.
If you have the case. No, I just have my
people
GameCube
are
games
selling-
loosely hanging out.
People are selling the discs for like $70.
So more expensive than is reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that you have a CRT behind you, no?
Correct.
There you
I've
go.
also given you like I'll give you one CRT or two.
Yeah, and those got tossed. So. Yeah.
Oh, really? They didn't last?
He threw him out the window. He just dropped him right out the window.
I saw Clint Eastwood outside. What do you want me to do?
There it is.
Told him to get off your lawn.
Stop talking to that chair and get inside.
All right, Alec,
Fenestrate him.
bring us home.
Go check out Snail Simulator.
Okay.
Am I typing this into the Steam machine?
Type it into the Steam machine. It's $1.20.
Become the snail. Move around. Look around. Oh, fantastic. Add to cart. Yeah.
Can you imagine playing this for an hour on Extra Life?
Oh.
Yes.
This is as advertised, right?
Yeah. It goes slow. It's a very
Like,
slow-paced, chill game.
This might be too slow.
I don't know. I'm already putting in my secret code here.
Your secret code, like the code on the back of your debit card.
Let's install this. Installed.
You know, Alec, you're responsible for that. No.
I am. It's on me.
Paid $1.50 for that.
Did you also get the 49-cent DLC to be see-through?
You know I did.
I didn't even see that.
It says, impress your friends. But you know how you would say impress your friends? It has the brackets around the S. Because you know that only one friend is going to own this game.
That does look... Oh, I might do that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to get us out of here, Getty. I'm going to just enjoy this.
All right, I can get us out of here.
Impress friends.
That'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Blue Sky at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, like tonight, are podcast night. Come hang out, talk with us, yell at us, listen to all of the ramblings. Next week, unfortunately, we're gonna just yell over the Video Game Awards. So if you wanna hang out with us and do that, I'll be around, I guess.
I'll do it, but just understand I might also be streaming something separately while we're doing that.
Is it the snail game?
It's the snail game.
Okay, perfect.
We're not doing the Game Awards.
We're doing the Game Awards. You said
we're going to have a
Yeah.
picture-in-picture
I said
where we're
not
talking
doing
about the Game Awards, but my gameplay of Snail Game is going to be up in the corner.
That's legit. We could do that.
You know I could do that, right?
No, we are doing that. That's what we all agreed to.
That's not hard.
Nobody said it was.
I think that sounds like
Wednesdays, Alex is playing Drunk Souls. Is that true? Is it this week? Is it next week? Which week is it?
I put it
Next week? All right, next week. Drinking and dungeoneering.
Yep.
Dungeoning?
Dungeoneering?
Some kind of dungeon is involved.
Yep.
But not the kind you're familiar with.
Or the kind you're really familiar with.
Mondays, Joel is digging deep in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah.
Act 1 still?
It,
Did you get to the Enclave?
I don't know. Just in sort of going every which way and going on adventures. We just cleared out a bunch of
You
goblin
really were
games.
rude to that couple that were doing their
We
private.
interrupted some orc action on accident and ended up ruining their day. So yeah, pretty good time.
How many party members have you found so far?
I think we got all of them. We got Scratch, the dog. So that was pretty cool. Best boy.
He's got Heartwood.
Yeah,
children.
like it is just sort of the parent walking along with the toddler with the leash. That's
And how many times have you been bitten by a vampire?
none. He
Okay.
let himself get bit by a vampire, but I didn't.
He was just having a good time.
Okay. All right. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Please check out our Patreon, where you can get monthly pictures of our dogs, get your name read off as an executive producer, free copies of of an early adopter, which one? I don't know, and even get a chance to play games with us, the people on Super GG Radio. It's crazy. We're just willing to hang out with you for a price. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty.
Good game, Joel. Good game, Alec.
GG.
What is this?
For what it's worth, Alex, the fact that it is that old thing is part of why he wants it.
Yeah, also he has one already.